I wasn't gonna let 2023 pass without dropping my best of list. Now, I do have an honorable mention. Don't hang up, bear with me. It's Renaissance, and the reason why Renaissance is my honorable mention because this is it's a perfect or near perfect documentary feature by Beyonce. I did go to the concert here in Atlanta and enjoyed it, but I wanted to see it theatrically too. And I love that it was just as long as the concert with some really interesting footage that you would have otherwise never known unless it was in this movie. And it just created another experience outside of the concert going experience. It really is a good film. I wish it were shortlisted to be nominated for an Oscar. It wasn't. I'll get over it. I didn't want to let this year pass without mentioning it because I didn't do a review of it. Okay, with that said, let's jump right into my top 10 films of 2020. These are the films that I saw at least twice in the theater, with one exception. Coming in at number 10 is Sisu. I saw Sisu in Dolby Cinema. Now, I didn't see a trailer of this film. I really didn't. I think I saw someone mention it on Twitter, and I was like, okay, it's playing. Let me go see it. This film is so good. I think when people with movie lovers from 10, 15, 20 years, 30, 50 years from now look back retrospectively at 2023 and discover Sisu, they will realize the brilliance of this film. This was such a good action thriller. For it to not even cost that much, you couldn't even tell. This looked like it was a $200 million movie. Coming in at number 9 is The Blackening. Now listen, this is family business. Everybody won't get this film, but I haven't laughed like this in so long in the theater. I mean, I was cackling because there were so many inside jokes. It just felt like I was at a family reunion or a cookout. This was a really good film. It was so funny. Coming in at number 8 is Saltburn. I cannot praise this film enough. It is well directed, well written, well performed. I hope that there is room for this film for an Academy Award for Best Picture because it really is one of the best films of the year. It is so good. And it's currently on Amazon Prime. Coming in at number 7 is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. What a tender film. Wow, this is such a great adaptation. I wish it did better at the box office, but they got at least 2 tickets out of me. Coming in at number 6 is Fair Play. Now, I didn't see this in the theater. I saw this on Netflix, but I could not stop watching it. This is such a good film and such a conversation piece too. If there is any justice when the Academy Awards nominations are announced, this will be a part of the Best Picture nominations because this is Best Picture worthy. Coming in at number 5 is John Wick 4. This film has some of the best action sequences ever shot. There are a couple of standouts. There's the one where there's this abandoned building and it looks like it's a continuous shot as they descend down each level. It was pretty much like a video game. It was so well shot. And then there's this long staircase and it was shot at night. It's so beautiful, like cinematically gorgeous, and it's such a good action scene. And the clothes, the costumes in this film are stunning. The costumes are stunning in this film. I'm talking about tailored to a T. I loved John Wick 4. Coming in at number 4, speaking of action, is Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. This is some of Tom Cruise's best work. I mean, there's a scene where he is handcuffed to a person, and the action sequence is so seamless. The third act alone is worth the price of admission. This was such a good film. I think that it wasn't, I think the release date kind of messed up the box office because this should have made $1 billion easily. This was the best Mission Impossible ever, for sure. And I'm looking forward to part 2 because this was part 1. Coming in at number 3 is Across the Spider-Verse. Now, I saw this 3 times in the theater, in IMAX and in Dolby. My eyes were dazzled. I couldn't believe it how beautiful the visual effects were in this film. And it just leveled up. I had not been privy to Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, I knew it was nominated for an Oscar, and I usually watch animated movies when they are nominated, but this one just passed me by. And I saw it a couple of weeks before I saw Across the Spider-Verse. This is some good animation. Like, this has set the tone for animation to come because you can see how it influenced even Ninja Turtles. Because Ninja Turtles looks good. I mean, it really looks visually good. It wasn't the best story, but visually it was stunning. And you can just see how it was influenced by Into the Spider-Verse, at least. Coming in at number 2, all year this has been my number 1 movie. I mean, I could not stop talking about Past Lives. I loved this so much because it is so well written. Like, this is the best screenplay of the year, hands down for me. At least original screenplay. It was so good, so well performed, so well written. The way director Celine Song directs the silences just had me mesmerized. This is such a good film. I couldn't rave about it enough, and it all year was my number 1 until I saw The Color Purple. The Color Purple blew me away. I saw the original when I was a little girl. My neighbor took me to see this film. I didn't get it then, but over the years I got what The Color Purple was about, and I never read Alice Walker's book, even though I have a copy of it here. I never read it, and I saw the play. I saw it. Fantasia was supposed to show up. She wasn't there. So whoever her understudy was, that's who it was when it came to Atlanta. So I did see the Broadway play, and it was good, but this blew me away. Like, this has to be nominated for Best Picture. This is how you honor a classic. Like, people were really upset that there was even a remake or a reimagination of the film or of the stage play, the musical. People just didn't want this. But when you see the film, you realize that it just honors the original. It's not deducing it in any way. It is honoring it, and I think that's really difficult to do, especially how honored and revered The Color Purple is in the Black community. I think director Blitz Bazawule did a stunning job with this film. The choreography is good. Shout out to Fatima Robinson. I'm going to do a review of The Color Purple in the next day or so, but this is a beautiful film. The music is incredible. It's well cast. Everyone in the cast is a consummate performer. I mean, they sing, they act, they dance. This is how you honor a classic. This was a really good year for movies and TV shows. I think this was a stellar year for movies. You had Barbenheimer, Mission Impossible was fantastic. We had a lot of fantastic indies. I have a separate list for my indies because we had some really good indies. But I just really enjoyed myself at the movies again. I'm glad we're back at it. That's my 10 plus 1. Stay tuned because I have other top 10 and 20 lists of 2023.